The following podcast is brought to you by Cast Content Media.
Hey guys, it's Ron Worley, your most imperfect host of Sons of Ditches. People are liars, thieves, addicts, and assholes. Some people change, and a few make a difference. But everyone has a story. Action. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sons of Ditches. We are here today with a wonderful guest, a good friend of mine. We call him Tiny. But his real name is Glen Perkins. Welcome, Glen.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, and so we invited Glen on. He's got a hell of a story. But, you know, before we do that, I always ask 3 questions, but it's one question. We're always trying to figure out what you be. Now, your B is your core person, your talents, values, and purpose.
Okay.
So I always ask, give me one of each. One talent, one value, one purpose.
Oh, man.
I know, on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot. Thanks.
It's okay.
Talent, I can figure out anything.
Okay.
Give me 5 minutes, I'll tear it apart and put it back together. Give me 5 minutes, I'll figure it out.
Okay. I like that one.
Purpose? I think purpose would have to be, you know what? I haven't figured out my purpose yet. It's coming.
Okay.
I think it's coming, but I'm getting there. I haven't figured out my true purpose. And what was the third one?
Value. One value that you run in your life.
Honesty is the number. Honesty.
Yeah. I think that's
100%.
so relevant in today's society.
Yes.
We don't have a whole lot of honesty. And
accountability. Those two are.
Well, they're hand in hand.
Yeah.
Well, if you're being accountable to yourself or to others, then you're also being honest.
Right.
So, hardest thing to be honest about is when you fuck up and you're talking to your wife and you have to tell her what's going on. Very hard thing to do. Right?
It's a very hard thing that I have learned. Yes.
So I need to put you through the Mayhem mindset coaching program. I recently went through this with a buddy of mine, Jim Hensel. He's the guy from my book that I talk about.
I've met him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You have. So I'm back with Jim again. We're going to team up and do some things. I'm going to sell his program. I'm going to coach his program.
Oh, cool.
But I had to go back through the program. And it's way better now. It's like 16 weeks and it's super involved. And every week you do some stuff. And what I've done is I've introduced different values. I wrote the book. Those are 10 values, the Worley Way. But it's been 10 years. I've gotten older.
Right.
Things have changed.
Yep.
Life has changed. So now we're doing, I've got 5 new values and 5 old values. And I stuck them together. But my purpose words are mentor, conductor, and and strength. So, you know, I found out what my purpose had, because it's kind of weird. We lose purpose or we don't have purpose.
Right.
We kind of flander around and you're just like, what the hell?
Yep.
And in retirement, which you're semi-retired now.
Yep.
I'm semi-retired now. And in that, I've kind of lost myself again. And that helped me really refocus, find it. Our purpose is in there because by design, we have a purpose. We just don't know what we're doing to serve that purpose.
Correct. Okay.
And here we are again. I'm back into it. And so I think you would enjoy it.
Sounds awesome.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Jim, I've got our first customer for me. All right. So we're going to call you Tiny for the purpose
That's
of
fine.
the show. Okay. Why do they call you Tiny?
Well, for one, my dad's a big man, way bigger than me, and I was a bouncer for quite a few years. So, and you obviously don't go by your real name. And when I walk in the door and I'm bigger than every other bouncer in there, that was the first thing that the owner said, Tiny. And it just has stuck for actually 24 years.
Wow.
I became a bouncer before I became sober. So I was actually going through sobriety when I was working as a bouncer in bars.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So it was it actually was a helper. It was a stair step.
Because you were seeing train wreck.
Yeah, I was seeing people just like me. It's like, come on, just go home. You're annoying. You're pissing everybody. Just yeah. And when you constantly see it night after night after night, it's a constant reminder. It's like, I don't need to. Yeah, what? I'm improving. I don't need this. So
right.
That's just how it is.
And drunks are no fun to be around when you're sober. So of course.
Right. I can handle them for a bit, and then I know when it's time to bow out.
Right. So you brought up an interesting, let's go down that road. You said you were going through sobriety. So obviously that means you were on something, addicted to something.
Mostly alcohol. I mean, there was some minor, marijuana back then, but it was alcohol. I was definitely a drunk, 100%.
Did you mess around with any of the big drugs?
No, never. Thank goodness.
Really?
Thank goodness, because I know my personality, and most likely I'd be in a ditch dead.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, by the grace of God, that I never tried any of that heavy stuff because I would have loved it.
Well, you mentioned your dad, and he was a big guy, and he was bigger than you. Even.
Yes.
Did he have a whole bunch of values and stuff? Because I noticed with people who just have a drinking problem, they actually have a pretty good core value set.
Well, see, now my parents didn't drink at all. There was never alcohol in my house, period. My sister she tested their limits. Mm-hmm. She was 5 years older than me. She tested their limits. And then I was able to just kind of follow in the shadows and not get caught.
Yeah.
And I had the freedom that people would kill for.
As in high school.
In high school.
Yeah.
That everybody wants.
Right.
But it led me the wrong path.
Sure.
So
sure. Unstructured,
yeah,
if you will.
Yeah.
Well, and that's okay. I mean, shit, we all have to go through what we have to go through. Did you go to college or anything like that?
No, I went to community college. I never made it to college. The money wasn't there for my parents, and I got a great job right out of high school, basically, and I was making killer money, and all my friends were going to school and scrape living on cup of noodles.
Yeah, and you're semi-retired, and they're probably still at work.
Yeah. And that's the help of, thank goodness for family and financial advisor in my family. Otherwise, I'd have never put money away and wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Yep,
so.
Exactly. And I think that's important to our listeners out there. I definitely don't preach college. I have one kid in college. But I honestly think when we grow up in the school of hard knocks, we actually become more resourceful, more creative.
You have to.
And you appreciate money.
Yep.
Money
and that just might be our generation because
yeah, it might be.
we can.
Oh my God.
We can go down a whole nother road. We start talking about Generation Z.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Some of my listeners might be a Zer. So. But you know what's funny about that is because both my boys, I think Peyton is too. All three of them are Generation Z, but they're a different Z. I mean, they are still softer and more millennial-esque, if you will.
Right.
But they're more conservative with their money. So there's some of that, the way you're raised in there.
That's how both, well, the two that, I don't know how to, it's not a thing that you can say. Two of my children are very good with their money. One has passed away, so I can't talk about that. But he, both my kids are penny pinchers with their money.
Yeah.
But they're lazy in the other aspects of life. They think things should come to them. Yep. So it's just different. It's not how I was raised.
Right.
And it's not how I taught them, but we're adults now.
I heard someone say that our generation grew up with our parents. We were the first generation where there wasn't a war. So everybody's lives were pre-consumed with a war. And when it came to our generation, our parents were out to work, and there was nothing to hold us down. We were latchkey kids.
I never thought about that. That's exactly true.
So there was nobody to give us values. And so we were a little bit of an anarchist. We had our own values because, there was values in the home.
Right.
But nobody was home to make sure we upheld those values. So
right.
We're out, like you said, got some freedom. We're out fucking it up a little bit, having some fun. And in general, as adults, even we don't like rules. We're anti-authority, and
I'm very anti-authority.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I did not make it into the military. I did try,
sure.
but they did not allow me in.
They didn't allow you in at all? Like
Nope.
day one, no
Nope.
day one?
No, I couldn't even get past the recruiter. He said, absolutely not. He's telling me things, and he's like, you would not be a good fit. Okay, well, at least I'm honest with you.
Yeah. I don't like this, that, and the
Yep.
other. Don't come.
And don't wake me up before 7 o'clock. And, it really was. A lot of my buddies went into the military and have retired and living great lives. Now, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah. Not that I didn't want to do anything like that. I had my own values at the time, and they weren't in line with theirs.
Right.
So,
well, you were young too, and that was, you were doing some crazy shit. So you brought up your son who passed away. Are you okay talking a little bit about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a great man.
Yeah, and so that just happened a couple of years ago.
Yep, 2 years ago, March 3rd of 2019, my sister passed away the year prior from cancer. And then my son's accident happened on February 28th, which is my sister's birthday. And that was the first birthday that she wasn't going to be here. And his accident happened on that. Because he was an organ donor, and he saved 4 people's lives, and that doesn't count skin grafts and all the stuff down the way, for burn victims and that so on. But it's just, I lost my concept there. I lost my track of thought.
We'll edit out stuff, so don't worry. We just get back on track.
Let's see.
So he died.
He actually died on my sister's birthday, February 28th. They flight for lifed him from the scene of the accident. The neurosurgeon that did his surgery came out to us that night. We flew. We made it from our place here in Colorado to California in 4.5 hours from the phone call.
Wow.
How it all lined up, I have no idea. But anyway, they told us that he was dead. There was nothing they could do. They kept him on life support to get all the organ donations in track. And I'm thankful that he could help some other people. But how we went through that, I don't wish on anybody. So that was a little different. But there's some people out there living because of that. So
sure. What do you mean it was a little bit different? How you went through it?
Well, what they promised us and what they actually did, that really broke my heart. They weren't dead honest, and it's actually I won't say their name. That's just, I'm not going to do that. They're a very big transplant. They deal with people's organs and stuff all over in California, and they didn't do what they promised us. And when I found that out, it just, I kind of felt like I deserted him, because I walked away to let them do what they promised, and they didn't do what they promised for 3 more days. So I felt that I deserted, and that's the only regret that I have out of all that. And it's not really my fault. It was false information that I made a decision based on. So I have to live with that.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to forgive yourself on that too, because you're in a time of grief, and good. I couldn't imagine having to go.
I hope no one does. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
And I remember seeing you and Christy at the time, and she went right back to work like a week later. It's not.
If you want to call it going back to work. Physically, she went back to work. Mentally,
she wasn't there.
We weren't there. That changed our life. That changed our path. That changed our direction 100% on what we're thriving for in life now.
Well, and so everybody deals with grief differently, and so in no way would I judge if you guys did go back to work right away. That would, life goes on. You got to do what you got to do, and but I thought it was very gracious in the way you handled it. A lot of people get angry, and I
did that.
Did you? Okay.
Yep, I did that.
You were still gracious to people around you, though. You allowed the comfort to come in.
Yes, I did. You have to.
Yeah.
I've been told that, and I kind of was still going through it with my sister, so I knew, and I went through anger with that, and then this came on me, so I already had been through the anger, and okay, now people are trying to console and be there for you, and just because they say the wrong thing,
right,
doesn't mean they don't care. That was the hardest thing for me to learn. Someone is saying something because they care. They just don't know how to word it properly, or you're hearing it wrong. That's the biggest. If someone says something, you just got to accept it and bring it in and let it go.
It's Ron Worley here with Sons of Ditches. I thank you for being a dedicated listener, and I would love for you to have my book. Please go to ronworley.com and find it there.
I think you said it best. That's basically you're giving them grace when you're in grace. So,
right.
That's an amazing accomplishment. That's something that a lot of people can't do. So good for you.
And it helped my anger a lot.
Yeah.
It just, everybody goes through road rage. Everybody, there's always that one person that, that's doing something that just annoys you. You know what? It's not my problem, and I don't have to sleep in your bed at night, buddy.
Right.
Or lady, sorry.
Brain. Yeah.
Yeah. Walk away. It's not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
And that was a big change for me to be able to do that.
So more, live like you're dying attitude.
Right.
Just, things matter. Today matters.
That Tim McGraw song, My Next 30 Years.
Oh,
and that's what I'm living. Yeah. Really. I got sober at 31.
Okay.
So I'm rolling my next 30 years, and I'm living my life to the fullest.
I love it, man. Well, speaking of that, you're pretty damn healthy still. No complications, the usual heart shit that happens in your 40s.
Nope. I don't have anything like that that I'm aware of. My biggest downfall is for some reason when I left the alcohol behind.
Yeah.
Sugar is my calling.
You and me both, my friend. So you were mentioning sweet tea.
I'm a junkie. I cannot. And it's not even refreshing on a super hot day.
Right.
But I'll drink too.
So mine's diet soda, but there's no sugar in it. Not real sugar. It tastes good. I go for the caffeine high.
See, I don't drink other than the tea.
Yeah.
I try not to touch soda, period.
Okay. That's pretty healthy, man.
I try not to.
Are you a 2 o'clock in the morning eater too?
No.
No. I wish I was you. If there's a cake, I'll eat the whole thing at 2 in the morning. The whole thing.
If I do wake up in the middle of the night and there's some ice cream in the fridge, I will sit down and eat it.
The whole thing.
Yeah, but that is maybe, it depends on if I never go to bed. I try never to go to bed with something I still have to do for that day.
Right.
If I still have paperwork to do, I don't care if I have to stay up until midnight. I'm finishing it, and then I'm going to go to bed. Otherwise, I'm going to be up all night thinking about it, that I didn't finish. So that's one of my things. I have to finish the day, period. And it drives my wife nuts, but it's much healthier for me. So she's accepted it now.
Sure.
And she knows. She's like, good night, I'm going to bed. I'm not waiting for you anymore, okay?
So what are some of that reminds me, a lot of us, we hang on to our, some of our vices. So when I first got sober, I drank a lot of caffeine. I smoked at the time, and I was a chimney smoker after that for quite a while, for a couple of years. And then I met Erin, and she was like, no. Yeah. So, and I still chew. I chew tobacco. That doesn't. Well, you do too.
I do too.
Yeah. So what else have you hung on to? What have you noticed that are like, I do that shit too much?
Definitely, my chew is my vice.
Yeah.
That is 100% my vice. If someone says, "Oh, you ought to quit that," you'd be amazed at the stuff that I have quit. And I wake up in the morning and put one in.
Really? Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, put one in. I'll lay there for 10, 15 minutes, and then I go and shower and do everything. Then when I get out of the shower, I spit it out, and then I brush my teeth and get all ready for the day. But people have coffee. I don't drink coffee at all. I can't stand it. But for some reason that chew is my pick me up.
Yeah. Well,
and it is. I mean, it works for a lot of people.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Well, and if that's all you.
And I wish if I could go back and one thing, only one thing in life, if I could not ever have started chewing, that'd be the only thing out of all the things that have happened in my whole life I've never done.
It's the one thing you can't kick.
Yep.
I started chewing when I was 12.
I was 14.
There you go. An adult gave it to you, probably?
Yeah. My next door neighbor, Cowboys.
Got sick as hell.
Yep. Puked all over the place. Yeah. And said, gosh, give me some more.
Right. Let me try that again. I bet I can do better. Yeah, that's funny, man. I don't think anybody out there has a different story about their first chews.
I don't think so. Everybody I know of has puked or 3 shades of green and purple and wish they were dead.
So, okay, we know a little bit about your past. You've been through some shit, man, and especially with your son dying. I mean, that just changed the trajectory of your life. I know you as an inspector. That's what you're doing now.
Yep.
And you're very successful. Your business does really good.
Yeah, we do really good. It's because I'm honest. I'm not a black and white guy. Everything can be fixed. I mean, it's all construction. Yeah. Everything can be put back together. Everything can be rebuilt. Everything can be fixed.
Sure.
So it's just, do you want to go to that extent? And then you just explain it. You give them some prices, and they can make the decision on their own. But I want to give them the best educated decision they can make.
Sure.
And educate them, show them, things that they wouldn't normally look at. That's why I enjoy it. I just love that part of my job.
Yeah.
Meeting new people and educating them.
So it helps with your socials.
And I deal with some fabulous realtors. Yeah. I mean, fabulous. I'll bend over backwards for 90% of my realtors that I deal with.
Well, I think that's what makes you successful too. You're quick and you do a good job and you talk to your people.
24 hours, you're going to have a report from the time I left.
Yeah.
And if it needs to be done faster, I'll do it. And I don't miss my 24 hours unless it goes to the wrong email.
What's the name of your place for our listeners?
Perkins Home Inspections. And we are a Northern Colorado based company, but I go all over Colorado because I have some clients that started with me 15 years ago now that are in Aurora and Castle Rock, and I still service them because they were with me at the start. They helped me make it. So I don't mind the drive time. I can dictate to myself, get stuff already on paper, so I'm caught up. Right. So I use the drive time for my personal time, personal thought processes, that stuff. And so I don't mind driving.
No, it's fun. I usually just put a movie on and go.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Netflix is awesome.
The new truck it has tons of safeties on it. So my old truck, I bypassed all that. The new one, my wife won't let me yet. My wife won't let me yet. She's the boss.
Shoot. That's funny. We'll put some links up of your company so that people can see that at the end of the show. So the fun stuff, you're semi-retired because you're working your ass off when you're here in Colorado.
Right.
But then you go to Oklahoma.
Enjoy myself and relax. We purchased a place out there. My best friend and I, we've been traveling. We've been best friends for years, but we've been traveling. We take a trip or two every summer. We go and look at different lakes all out through, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona. Yeah. We looked at a bunch, and my wife's uncle said, do not make a decision until you check out Grand Lake Cherokee. Well, we weren't even going to go. We actually found places that we really liked on a different lake, and we're like, it's on our plan. We're just going to drive the motor home up. We take the dogs we trailer the motorcycles so we can go.
Awesome.
But then we got to this lake, and everybody was in awe. And my buddy found a place while we were out there. Yeah. He found a place and purchased it on the spot. And Christy and I just couldn't we loved the area. We felt the vibe, but we couldn't find our happy yet. And then we bought a place in December, sight unseen. And I had my buddy go and inspect it. He's a general contractor. Yeah. I had him go and look at it. We bought it sight unseen. We showed up in January, gutted the place, and have it completely remodeled, and the neighbors are just in awe because I guess I was a hoarder there before. But we remodeled it, and it's beautiful. It's not near as big as the house I live in Colorado. It's not near as flashy or but man, it's home. Yeah, it is home.
Well, and it's close to the lake. Or
the lake is literally 25 yards from my house.
Oh my gosh! So you keep your boat right there.
Actually, I keep my boat at my buddy's house. His house is in a cove.
Oh.
And he has one slip, but he added a slip on the backside. So whoever.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I leave my boat there. When I'm not there, I pull it out of the water and put it in my carport at my house, just so it doesn't get damaged, weather, that kind of thing. Right. If I can't, something I can control.
So how often do you go there then?
Every 2 weeks.
Oh my God. And you stay for how long?
The longest we've got to stay for is 11 days.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to do 2 weeks and 2 weeks.
Wow.
I asked my wife if we could move there.
Yeah.
But she is not ready. And when I actually sat down and thought about it hard, I'm not ready either.
Yeah.
I can't leave my house. There's memories there. I can't leave.
Sure.
Maybe in 5 or 10 years, but I don't have to.
Right.
I don't have to sell it. It doesn't make any difference to me.
That's the best part about freedom.
Yep.
You don't have to choose today. Yeah, that's badass. So 2 and 2. And how much are tickets to go down there? $100?
Well, my wife and I drive all the time.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, my wife has a weird sleeping habit. She likes to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she'll answer emails from 1 to 3 in the morning. Well, when she wakes up at 1, it's like, instead of wasting that time on your phone, let's just hop in the truck and drive.
Sure.
We do that because we take our dog with.
Right.
Dog's family.
Yep.
Just like Yep. So my dog, I fully cover the back end. The dog gets the whole back seat, and we drive out there because we're still taking. I have my Razor out there. I have my Harley out there. We have the boat out there. So we're almost done hauling everything out there, but there's still a couple things we got to take out there that you can't take on an airplane.
Well, yeah.
But it's about $130 for a ticket.
That is so nothing.
And it's United Express. So it's 2 seats on each side. It's a little plane.
That's awesome, man.
So.
Well, Aaron and I will not drive out there, but we'll come see you if we can fly out.
Yeah, Joplin is 47 miles from us, Joplin, Missouri. And that's the airport. And their security is, you walk in the door, you set your baggage down, they run it around the metal detector, and you walk through the metal detector, and that's it. They only have one plane coming in and one plane going out, and it's the same plane.
Is there a car rental place even?
No, there is not a car rental place there.
You're gonna have to come get us, man.
I actually do think that if you reserve one, they'll have it there for you, as I remember. I think that's what and then Tulsa, Oklahoma is about 2 hours away, but obviously you're going to go for the closer one.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
I just am, you think about where people's happinesses are. You always hear about the beach states, and everybody runs to Florida, and and now I'm here in Alabama, and Georgia are great, but nobody ever says Oklahoma, and so it's awfully interesting to me. But it's a different area. It's like a resort area.
Well, it is a lake town.
Yeah.
And for a lake town, it's not trashy by any means. There are a few areas out there where you will see a $500,000 home. Yeah. And then you will see a modular right next to it. There are a few of those places, but most of the areas are pretty decent. They do have some mobile home parks, which everywhere does, and that's fine. So, they're taking care of everybody, all facts alike, or all acts alike. Right. But there's some rundown areas. Supposedly there's pretty high meth usage out there.
Oh, I've heard that before.
I haven't really seen it myself, but I'm normally on the lake.
Right.
If we're either at the house or we're on the lake, that's just how it is.
It kind of gives me an Ozarks feel in my head. That's what I'm looking at.
There are some places that I have driven by going, I wonder if there's bodies right over there. The banjo playing. There's some areas like that. Don't get me wrong.
All right. Well, so that's cool, man.
We hop in the boat and we'll go 40 mile an hour for an hour and a half to get to Pensacola Dam.
What?
And
It's a big ass lake.
oh, it's huge. It's 1,362 shore miles.
Oh my God.
It is huge. And the paddle fish out there are
Really?
this big. I'm just huge,
What
huge.
do you use to catch a paddlefish?
You got to snag them. In the state of Oklahoma, they have to be snagged. If you catch them by mouth, if you hook them, you have to throw them back.
Really?
Now, how would anybody know unless they, it's GRDA, Grand River Dam Authorities, polices that lake. If they pulled you over and looked at what you had and saw that it was caught by a hook in the mouth, you'd probably get in trouble. So
what is the reasoning behind that?
I have no idea what. It's not a common thing. It's actually on my bucket list. I'm going to actually get a guide to take me out. I want to catch one.
Yeah.
I want to see what it's like to bring in 140-pound fish.
Yeah, that's not in the ocean.
Yeah. I guess they date back to prehistoric.
Yeah, they're like dinosaurs. In the water.
And we have gar out there, and
God.
there's some nasty things.
Ugh.
So there's a couple guides out there that will take you out, and they've got the flat bottom boats with all the lights on it, and they'll take you out bow hunting.
Yeah.
And you shoot. I mean, the amount of fish that you come back with, the carp and the gar, and then they just punch holes in them and dump them in the lake.
Really?
Yeah, because then they sink to the bottom to feed.
Oh, okay. So they're feeding them. They're nuisance fish.
Yep, they're nuisance fish.
Ah, well, that's cool.
But yeah, it's
Catch some big ass fish.
yeah, it's incredible, and they supply all the equipment. Even if you have your own, theirs is better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
we've got to do this. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, what is it? It's $400 for 2 people, and then $100 for every additional person after that. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
lose that in the casino in 10 minutes out there.
There's a casino out there
Oh,
too?
we have 3 casinos within 30 miles of our
my
place.
gosh. What's the weather temperament? I'm sorry, guys. I got to know this. So what's the weather temperament year round? Is it
So
winter?
last February of this year was the first time that lake has frozen since 1982.
Okay.
The lake never freezes over.
It just gets chilly.
Yeah, it gets chilly, and their snow out there to them is a blizzard to us. I mean, a dusting on the ground to them, stores shut down.
Oh,
Literally will not open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it's just different pace, and
That's cool.
but the weather, it's very similar. It's the humidity,
Yeah.
and it hasn't bothered me. And I got some extra pounds that it should bother me, but it doesn't. The humidity has not bothered me.
I suppose you get used to it like everything else. Yeah.
And it's fun, and you gotta keep stuff clean because mold and stuff grows out there on your deck. So you gotta pressure wash. It's a little more maintenance, but
Oh
well.
So do you think you're living your best life?
I never imagined to be living the life that I have right now.
Yeah.
Never.
What changed? What was the change? Where did you stop being this and start doing this?
So 2001, obviously we hadn't touched this point. In 2001, when I actually quit drinking, part of it was forced, but my oldest son saw me in restraints in a hospital, and he walked in, and I saw the look in his eyes, and I made the promise to myself that you will never, ever see this again, ever. So that was the first big change.
Yeah.
That was the start of my sobriety.
Yeah.
And my wife, Christy, is probably the second biggest change. I mean, I always called her my trophy girl.
Yeah.
Most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes. And it's like, are you blind? What are you doing with me? And I still say that to this day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just not worthy of you, She actually gave me her phone number. I didn't even call her. I was like, she's just teasing me, just being nice.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history from there. We got married, and
The love of a good woman.
oh man, yeah, the love. And I wasn't necessarily on the 100% with the honesty path yet, and she got me dialed in on that.
Yeah.
And financially, she helped me get dialed in. And as a team, she's the, she keeps everything in line.
Yeah.
She keeps everything on course. I'm the bulldozer to keep everything on that course.
Right. Keep it moving.
Yep, keep it moving. But she has an order, and that's the way it's going to be done. And I've learned to accept that.
Sure.
Because it works.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right. And there's some of us, we need that. We were talking about it before the show. Our wives are both very black and white. They think black and white. There's order in their world.
Yep.
Period. Now, when I got sober, it was get rid of the chaos because that was important to stay sober. And now, we were talking. We think gray. We look at everything as gray. But I think we need someone in our life to be black and white for a lot of the
Gray to me is allowing a second chance.
Sure.
In the big picture. If someone didn't give me a second chance or you a second chance, we probably wouldn't be on the path that we're at now.
I'd be in the ditch, like you said.
Yeah, because something's going to trigger you to go back. It's like, at least I had friends. I have not one friend from back in my drinking days.
Right.
Not one. They're acquaintances.
Yeah.
I still will say hi to those people, but they are not my friends.
Yep.
I have all new friends and all new values since I quit.
Amen. And so,
I didn't want that, but that's what I needed.
well, yeah, we have to separate ourselves. So, and the other part of gray is using your heart to talk to people. And I don't know about Christy, but Erin, she just knows right and wrong. That's it. It's right or it's wrong. And I'm like, yeah, but gotta talk to them. Yeah, talk to them about the right thing. There's that gray.
The kids, I don't even know how to explain that it didn't come out as an insult. The kids will sit and talk with me and listen better with me because she basically puts her foot down and this is it.
Yep.
It's not good or bad. It's that's one, and sometimes they need this.
Right.
So it is black or white, I guess, or gray. But if you ask the kids, she's more strict.
Yeah.
I'm more laid back.
Yep. Same. Yeah.
And I am laid back because of what I've been through. There's
Sure.
no sense having.
Don't get excited about the small
There's
things.
no sense having a wedgie in life. That's how I look at it.
It's true, man.
No sense in having a
That's
wedgie in
awesome.
life.
It's so true. It's the same thing. Oh, look. One of our things fell off here.
What fell off?
My,
Oh,
I must have ran out of juice. There we go. Back on?
yeah.
All right. Well, we've ran out of time probably. Boy, we just went long. I told you we were just going to bullshit.
Yeah, but quick.
You're not nervous anymore, right?
No, I'm not. You kind of bring that out. You make people feel comfortable. No matter
Oh,
what.
thanks, man. I try. These podcasts are always boring in my eyes. I want to make them fun, and it's always good to get a good guest. So I appreciate you coming on.
I'm honored to be here. And
Honors
enjoy
mine,
all
brother.
this. So
yeah. Thanks for touring the house. So everybody, in case you couldn't tell, we're outside, and it's been loud and stuff, but it's been a lot of fun too.
it's cool. It's perfect. It's not too hot. A little breeze to keep you nice and cool. It was beautiful. What more could you ask
Not
for?
a
And
beat
this
as
view is amazing. So
as always, guys, you can check out his links if you want to talk to Glenn or I. Call him Tiny if you want. Links are all done afterwards, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in to Sons of Ditches. For more information, go to my website, ronworley.com, and my YouTube channel, Sons of Ditches. Facebook, Ron L. Worley, or Instagram at Ronald L. Worley II. Ron Worley here with Sons of Ditches. I thank you for being a dedicated listener, and I would love for you to have my book. Please go to ronworley.com and find it there.